Hey, 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 beautiful people. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a whole week. It's been a whole week. I'm hoping we've had a productive week, a beautiful, productive week. How we doing? How y'all doing? So, ladies and gentlemen, the things I want to touch on this week are the Michael Jackson movie. We're going to chop it up about that. We're going to talk about why I started making these videos, the types of engineering there are, and the typical salary ranges for each engineer. Um, I'm going to try to focus on the civil engineers and what civil engineers make, since I'm a civil engineer myself. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. All right, so the first thing that's on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why I started making these videos. Truth be told, my uncle put me up to it. He gave me the idea. He was like, Qua, you have a very interesting story with everything you've been through. You're an engineer. You should put that up online for people to connect with you. At first I was like, I don't know about that, right? But then I thought about it. I was like, yo, I don't really see too much of us, specifically foundational Black Americans, just chilling, vibing out, just doing problems. And then I thought about it some more. I'm thinking, you know how great it would be for young kids to see someone like themselves just chilling, vibing out, doing engineering problems, showcasing intellect, showcasing analytical skills, problem solving skills, deep thinking, deep thought. Yes, this will definitely help the kids, the young adults, the FBA children, the FBA young adults. I feel like this is a little piece of my contribution I could do for free. Just spend a little bit of my time throughout each weekend, just chop it up with you all, building with you all. This is what we want to do. We want to produce builders, our future builders. And I also realized people don't really see what engineering looks like in real life. They just see the buildings, the bridges, the roads, but they never see the mind behind it and what takes place behind it all. And I wanted to change that as well. I wanted to show the process, or what at least the process looked like, the grind, the discipline, the thinking, all over a chill beat. You know what? Speaking of beats, right? That Michael Jackson movie was fire. I really liked the movie. I thought it was dope. Seeing a whole family take their obsession, their passion, and master their craft and turn it into a legacy. You can't hate on that. No one can hate on that. We're supposed to get inspired and apply it to our own lives and the areas that we work in. Whether that's your job, a hobby, a thing on the side, two things on the side. Be passionate about something. Be passionate. And have fun with it too. I like that. I like that they also have fun. One thing I also liked about the movie is that it really gave me insight into Michael's character and how he really was. Believe it or not, I think you'll learn. You'll learn if you watch the movie. The man was very studious, even as a kid. He always sat and learned and watched. He was a forever student. He always sat in the corner and watched how the people use the machines, learn how to play instruments. Was always a student of the greats that were already there doing it. He was forever learning, and I think that's something that a lot of us tend to forget. That we still need to learn, even though we've got our professions, we work in our crafts, or we've graduated college. We still need to be forever learning. There's always something new to learn, and have fun. They were all talented. Shout out to that family for making their dreams come true, sticking to the game plan and making things poppin'. And again, shout out to the whole family. We all know Michael wasn't the only one. The rest of the brothers, Tito, Jermaine, Joseph Jackson, these are all talented individuals in their own right. I think they don't get the flowers that they deserve as a whole unit. Janet, let's not forget Janet. Janet is amazing, very amazing. So again, shout out to them. Shout out to all of them. And speaking of other things, a lot of people don't even know there are different types of engineers. I didn't know there were different types of engineers when I was trying to choose a major. You have, your mechanical engineers who work with machines such as cars, HVAC systems. You have your electrical engineers who deal with power and circuits and energy. We have our chemical engineers who deal with products and reactions. There's a whole slew of different types of engineers out here in the world. Oh, your software engineers, how could I forget about that? The engineers who are building basically the digital world. But I mostly want to get into civil engineering. That's my lean. Civil engineering, basically the engineering of civilization itself. Your roads, your buildings, your water systems, building foundations, transportation. If people use it, drive on it, walk on it, or depend on it, a civil engineer more than likely touched it. Now, I know what you guys are wondering, the juicy part, what you guys came for. How much do civil engineers make? Now, I won't be discussing my salary on here because I'm not doing that. But we can get into some ranges of what a typical civil engineer makes. So most civil engineers can start out anywhere between $50,000 to $80,000 a year, depending on where they land, what they're doing within civil engineering, because civil engineering is very broad. And if one is experienced in civil engineering, the salaries start looking like $90,000 and up, like $90,000 to $120,000, and even up to $200,000, right? Depending on where one lands and what one does. Now, if a civil engineer was to get licensed, specialized, and work in their own firm, run their own firm, then there is no salary cap. That it just depends on how much the civil engineer, how much one hustles to get as much paper as they can get. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, civil engineering is very broad. So now let's get into the different types of civil engineers, or all the different types of engineers that falls under the civil engineering umbrella. First, we have structural engineering. Now, what do they do? Structural engineers design buildings, bridges, towers, retaining walls, foundations, anything that must stand up safely. All right, getting into the good part. Salary ranges for structural engineers are typically entry level are anywhere between $65K to $80K. Mid-level is about $90 to $120K. A senior and or PE engineer is about $130K to $180. The next type of civil engineer is your water resource and hydrology engineer. And yes, we do listen, it is very important we understand water, your fluid mechanics, how water works, because water will tear things up. What do water resources and hydrology engineers do? What do? They do stormwater, drainage, flood control, watershed modeling, green infrastructure design. This is what they do. The salary ranges, they start out anywhere between $60 to $75K. Mid-levels are anywhere between $85 to $110K. When they become a senior and or a PE, they make anywhere between $120K to $160K. Not bad at all. And remember, for all these salaries I mentioned, once they become a PE and start their own firm, there really is no cap to how much one can make. Next, we have our transportation engineer. What do our transportation engineers do? They build roadways, they do roadway design, traffic flow, highways, intersection, airports, transit systems. Airports also fall under structural. So some of these subcategories of civil engineering overlap sometimes, which is to be expected. It's not surprising. Salary ranges are entry level 60 to 75K. Mid is about 85 to 115K. Senior P's is 120 to 170. Number 4 on the list is our geotechnical engineering. What do? They do soils, foundations, retaining walls, slope stability, earthwork, subsurface investigations. This is what the geotechnical engineering typically does, and these are the types of problems you see me doing in this video. In my earlier videos, you see me doing more structural engineering problems. But geotechnical and structural, these two types of engineering work and problem kind of overlaps. They tend to overlap from time to time, which is to be expected. If you're building a tall building, you want to know how the soils underneath act and what type of foundations that we should put on that soil due to the soil properties. Typical salary ranges anywhere between 60 to 75K. For entry level, mid level is about 85 to 110K. Senior PEs is about 120K to 160K. Okay, number 5 on the list is land development and site civil. What do? Land developers and site civil engineers do subdivision design, grading utilities, stormwater, commercial site plans, and stormwater. Reading this off reminds me of my senior project where the whole course, the whole semester was just this one project doing subdivision design, grading, stormwater, and sewer water. The whole class had 4-man teams. I was in a 3-man team with one person not doing anything. On top of that, we took a hard professor who everyone tried to avoid, so the easier classes were taken up, and I was stuck in this class. However, the class ended up being good. I learned a lot, and I actually got a B. I'm never going to forget that. I got a B in the course. Typical entry salary ranges is anywhere between 60 to 75K. Mid-level, again, 85 to 115K. Senior PEs on 120 to 180K. And again, these are all the salaries I'm reading off if one is an employee at a big firm or small firm. Once one makes their own company and run their own firm, the sky's the limit. There is no cap on how much one can make. Next up on the list at number 6, environmental engineering. What do? They do water treatment, air quality, waste management, environmental compliance. Typical salary ranges, entry level 60 to 70K, mid level 80 to 105K, senior and PE 110 to 150K. Coming in at number 7, construction engineering or construction management. What do? Oversee construction, scheduling, cost control, field engineering, and inspections. Typical salary ranges, entry level 55 to 70K, mid level 80 to 110K, senior 120 to 160K. And last but not least on my list, coastal and marine engineering. What do? They handle ports, harbors, seawalls, coastal erosion, and offshore structures. Typical salary ranges 65 to 80K entry level, mid level anywhere between 90 and 120K, senior PE anywhere between 130 and 180K. So, as we can all see, civil engineering isn't just one job, it's a whole ecosystem. Structural engineers make sure buildings stand. Transportation engineers design how cities move. Water resource engineers control floods. Geotechnical engineers study the ground we build on. Land development engineers design the sites we live and work on. Environmental engineers protect the planet. Construction engineers bring the plans to life, and coastal engineers protect the shoreline. I think we should be getting more. The salary should match the responsibilities. I'm always say I should get more. You know that. I'm always going to say I should get more. Yeah. The salaries should match the responsibilities. Yeah, most civil engineers are around 50 to 60K and can go well into the 150s and beyond with experience, specialization, and PE licensing. Or there can be no cap to how much we can make once we start our own firm, gain legitimacy, and trust and respect. Now that I taught you all what a civil engineer is and the different types of engineering that falls under civil engineering, do you think this is something you see yourself doing in the future? Would you tell your friends and family about it? Do you think our salaries match the responsibilities? Did you see the Michael Jackson movie? What did you think about it? What did you learn from it? I'd love to hear your answers and what you have to share in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, let's get back to these problems. Peace.